Welcome back to the Vindolanda Excavations. My name is Andrew Birley, I'm the Director of Excavations, and I just would like to give you a little update on how things are progressing. We're now in week 5. As you can see from the shot here, quite a lot has changed since the first couple of weeks of excavation. We've really started to expose an awful lot of masonry, and we're getting a lot of buildings starting to appear. In particular, if we have a little closer look, we can see this enormous wall stretching through the trench here. And this is clearly a 4th century structure, which has gone straight across the earlier 3rd century remains, some of which we can see just in the shot at the moment on the right hand side. Now this 4th century building, it has been enormous, and it has cross walls that have come across it. And what we're not sure at the moment is whether or not this big wall in the middle of the shot is actually a spine wall in the building, or is it an outside wall of the structure. And if we come across the top of it, you can see some of the little rooms that have come off to either side, and the walls that have been butt jointed or bolted across. Now unfortunately, the northern wall of the building is sitting somewhere amongst all this rubble here. It's more or less completely trashed by later activity on the site, and we've certainly got little bits of evidence of post-Roman activity taking place in this area. And it's possible that big buildings like the one in the foreground there could have been occupied well into the 5th and 6th centuries. If we start wandering up this wall a little bit further, we can see how these buildings were situated next to each other. Got a lovely little corridor here between the buildings, and they've had to put a bit of packing there in the foreground of the shot just to try and keep the walls apart. So if you look on either side onto the floor surfaces, you can see an awful lot of subsidence has taken place here, and it's probable that we've got a big early fort ditch running straight through the middle of where these buildings are later situated. Up on the rampart things are going very well, so let's have a little look over there. We can see this horribly cobbly 5th or 6th century wall that's coming across the trench. It was actually within the fabric of that wall that we got our lovely little altar to the god Apollo a couple of weeks ago, which you can see on a previous video blog. So nice bit of reused masonry there. And behind the wall we've got the space which was once occupied by the Intervallum Road, a nice big flagstone blacking here on the back of the rampart, and then the fort wall itself coming up on the right hand side. And very, very sweetly, just round the corner, if we come all the way around, you can see this lovely little path which once led up on top of the rampart, faced with stones on either side, and then resurfaced with these whopping great big stones sometime in the late or the post-Roman period, just to get access up to the fort wall at the top. Now as the excavations progress over the next 2 or 3 months, this whole area will be transformed completely, and do keep in touch with the blog and check in now and then to see how that all develops. All the best.